Welcome back again, everyone. We are now in Chapter 7, and Chapter 7 involves a tool known as a grid view. That would be this one right here. Grid view, which is within the legacy category in the palette. Now, I dragged and dropped this grid view onto my preview window. However, we're still going to have to go into the XML code and make some changes to its attributes. There's also an image view down here at the bottom. That one was totally done in XML. Let me show you the XML code. All right, the first thing you need to do is change the layout to this, a linear layout. I started with a constraint layout, but I did not change it by going to the component tree, right-clicking and selecting, the thing to change the view. I did it all in here. I actually got rid of what was here in the XML code and typed linear layout. And that also had a closing tag for linear layout at the bottom. You also, within the linear layout attributes, you need to add this attribute, the one that says orientation equals vertical. All the other attributes here for the linear layout are already there. The one you need to add is this one in the yellow box, orientation vertical. Okay, here is what I did for the grid view in XML. There were other attributes here in the grid view tag. If you don't see it here, you can delete them. All you need are the ones you see right here. And then here is what I did for the image view. Again, wait a second. Again, I did not drag and drop the image view into the preview window. I typed it all in here. This is what you need for the image view. Okay. Good news is, in the strings XML, there's only one thing to add. That one right there for image large. That's good. Okay, back to the main activity. No, we want to go to the Java code. Here it is. The Java code's pretty intense on this one. In addition, before we get to the Java code, there are 6 graphics files you need to get into the drawable folder, and there they are right there. I will let you look at the names. You must get those 6 graphic files into the drawable folder. The first thing you're going to do in the Java code is you're going to create an array whose name is animals, and it will have the 6 drawable ID numbers that go with the 6 images. You'll also need this image view object whose name is pic, P-I-C. Now, here in the onCreate method, you create a grid view object. It's called grid. And you're going to create an image view object whose name also happens to be pic. There you are. Now, this line right here, when you first type it in, is going to give you errors because of this part, this image adapter. Image adapter is a class we're going to have to create later in the code. So if you type in this line of code that's circled and image adapter comes up red, don't worry about it. We'll fix it later because we have to actually manually type in and create this image adapter class. Then there is, for the grid, a set on item click listener. So there's going to be 6 images displayed at the top of your app. When you click each individual one, we want that image you clicked on to be displayed in the image view underneath it all. And we're also going to have a pop-up show up. So here's our old friend Toast. That'll show the pop-up. And then here we have pic.setImageResource, and we're using the array to pick which of the 6 pics gets displayed. in that image view. So that's what goes into the onItemClick method. Now, about that image adapter class. Here is what its code looks like. Now, if I try to explain all of this in all its detail, this video could be about a good half hour to an hour long. So I'm going to skip that part. I will again refer you to the Chapter 7 PowerPoint slides, which not only contain all the instructions you need to follow to get this to work correctly, but also will explain some of these other things that I won't have time to get into. You need to create within the image adapter class a private context object. And context is the name of a class with a capital C. Context with a lowercase c is the name of an object we're going to use. By the way, this image adapter class needs to extend the base adapter class. That means image adapter inherits the base adapter class. Okay, you have a getCount method, and you'll return animals.length. This getItem, return null, getItem ID, return 0. Don't need to worry about those. The main one you need to worry about is the getView method here at the bottom, and here is the code for that. So apparently what this getView method is doing is it's basically grabbing the particular image you clicked on at the top of the screen, scales it to fit into the image view correctly and not just take up the whole screen, and sets parameters for width and height, and then returns it so it can be displayed. And I believe that, yes, that is all the Java code for this thing. Again, you really need to look at the Chapter 7 PowerPoints. I haven't told you absolutely everything you need to do to make this work, but the Chapter 7 PowerPoint slides will give you all the details you need, so please follow them very carefully. All right, I'm ready to run this program, so I will pause the recording and bring you back when the app's ready to go. And the app is running, and as you can see, here are the 6 images. Now they've kind of been made smaller up there at the top of the screen. With the Pixel 8, I think it has a much larger display area, so it may seem a little crunched. I'm going to click on the eagle. As you can see, here's the eagle right there, and down at the bottom was your pop-up. I'm going to click the elephant. Elephant, here's the pop-up all the way at the bottom of the screen. The gorilla. And now the panda. Followed by the panther. And finally, the polar bear. And there you have it. That is how a grid view works in Android Studio. If you have any questions, please send me an email at kmuldrow@lbcc.edu.